I'm here to tell you exactly why you are not in the relationship you want to be in. Why you keep dating the losers, why you keep dating the guys who are ghosting you, why you keep dating the guys who are married that lie about it. Yes, that was me. Why you keep attracting the narcissists, why you keep attracting the toxic men, and why you just can't find the love of your life and the man that you were meant to marry. If you are doing all of these things like I was doing and want to know how to stop that pattern and why you seem to be attracting them like Velcro, this is the video for you. I'm going to tell you everything I did from my perspective to stop dating the guys that were married, to stop dating the guys that were lying to me, to stop dating the guys that weren't looking for a relationship, and only allow the men into my life that were high quality, want a relationship, and have good things to offer. Now, disclaimer, I have a background in mental health. I am a mental health therapist. So these pieces of advice and what I did come from both a psychological perspective, how the mind works, as well as a manifestation perspective, synchronicity, attracting everything in the universe to you. You may be wondering why you seem to constantly attract disrespectful men. The answer is because you're letting it happen. Think about it. No one can disrespect you without your consent. It's not necessarily that you're attracting disrespectful men, because disrespectful men are all over. Disrespectful men are all over just as much as really good guys are all over, but you are allowing it, so it feels like you're attracting it. You're entertaining it, right? Disrespectful men are only looking for women who are going to allow themselves to disrespect these women. But the problem is you don't know how to identify the things that these disrespectful men do to let you know who they are on the first date or even before the first date. Think about it. Here's an example. Let's say you matched on a dating app and you're talking on dating apps, and he finally asks you on a date and he says, hey, like, when are you free? Let's say you say Thursday. And this is 3 days in advance. Don't forget my rule. 3 days in advance, you say you're free Thursday. So let's say this is on Sunday. You make the plans on Sunday for Thursday coming up. Now it's Wednesday and you still haven't heard from him. And it's Thursday morning and you still haven't heard from him. And it's Thursday at 4 p.m. and he texts you and says, hey, how do you feel, meeting up at 5 o'clock? This is an absolute no. It's completely disrespectful to make a plan that far in advance, a tentative plan Thursday, and not confirm with you what time you're meeting. So now you've been thinking about it since Wednesday, probably. When are we gonna meet? You're trying to plan your outfit. You wanna know, what time, what's the latest time you can go to the gym on Thursday so you can get ready and do your hair and do your makeup. And he's literally texted you an hour before. So your response to that needs to be, hey, I didn't hear from you, so I made other plans. Now you may think that's a bit harsh, but I'm telling you, that is a signal of what disrespectful men do. That's how they start. It doesn't start by them ghosting you right away. It doesn't start by them canceling plans right away, or it might. It starts by things like this. He literally asks you or confirms the time an hour before you're supposed to meet. That's an absolute no. And if he wants to make up for it, you've given him a chance to make up for it. You said, hey, I didn't hear from you, so I made other plans. Any normal human being with a schedule and an actual life is gonna make a plan more than an hour in advance, and is gonna solidify those plans if he cares enough about seeing you. And in the same token, if he cares enough about seeing you, he's gonna apologize, say, I should have known better, you're right, because he respects your time and he wants to pursue you and wants to make sure he doesn't miss out on the opportunity to go on a first date of all dates with you, and he's gonna reschedule and he's not gonna make that mistake again. And if he's the wrong kind of guy, he's gonna get irritated, he's gonna get annoyed, he may even call you names. And that is, my friends, step one in how to stop attracting the jerks into your life. Now, this video is gonna go over 4 main reasons why you can't seem to attract and manifest that relationship that you want in your life. Number 1, you have low self-worth. Number 2, you accept bad behavior. Number 3, you have no set visions or goals for your life. And number 4, you're love addicted. Let's jump in to number 1. You have low self-worth. If you have low self-worth, you don't even have a good picture of what a perfect relationship for you would be like. You have minimal standards. You've had bad relationships in the past, and these bad relationships from your past are what you use to gauge what your relationship should be like now in the future, in the present. So if you've never had a guy confirm on a date more than a day in advance, you're just gonna think like that's normal. You have to start coming back into your feelings. Think about it. What does it actually feel like when a guy confirms a date last minute? I know for me, I feel flustered. I feel like I can't get ready in time. I feel like I need to rush. I even might say like, I'm not even gonna go to the gym because I don't know what time we're gonna meet. That is insanity. Learn from a past me. Don't be that person. If you're connected enough to your feelings, you're gonna know that it isn't right. Any type of rushing, feeling flustered, having a lot of questions in your head, feeling need to change your own schedule and own plans to accommodate the maybes of a man making a date with you is all low self-worth behavior. However you perceive yourself as worthy, whatever you perceive yourself as being worth is what you're gonna attract. So one of the things that you need to do when you want to attract the right partner and a great relationship for yourself is really start to envision what that looks like and to recalibrate what you feel like your standards are. I know a lot of women that I talk to really think that a lot of these basic things in relationships are just too much to ask. Oh, like what's the big deal? He confirmed an hour or two before, it's not a big deal. But here's the thing. A guy with good character is going to confirm ahead of time. And I know I keep using that as an example, but that's because the small things do matter. The small things are a representation of the bigger things. If he can't even do the easiest thing of moving his thumbs and looking at the clock to be respectful of you, what makes you think he's gonna know how to look after you when you're pregnant? What makes you think he's gonna remember your birthday? What makes you think he's gonna save up for the vacation that you really wanna take and surprise you when you wanna go to Aspen for Christmas? Think about it this way. Some people eat McDonald's every single day and they don't think twice about it. Now, if you're the kind of person that never eats McDonald's or would never eat McDonald's every day, think about why. It's because you value yourself more and you know that that shit is trash and you don't want to put it in your body. So why would it be any different when a man doesn't know how to be respectful, when a man doesn't know how to keep his mouth shut and he talks about other women, when a man makes rude comments, when he seems indifferent to you, when he plays hot and cold? The only difference between McDonald's and those behaviors is that you've decided that McDonald's isn't good enough for you. So if McDonald's isn't good enough for you, this man is certainly not good enough for you if he doesn't know how to do basic, respectable things. Number two, why you are not in the relationship that you want to be in is because, ding, 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 you accept bad behavior. And this does tie into number one, low self-worth. Accepting bad behavior just allows more bad behavior to happen. And remember what I said, disrespectful guys are looking for women who are open and willing to be disrespected. So the number one way to get rid of disrespectful guys in your life is to stop accepting bad behavior. Bad behavior includes, but is not limited to, canceling the first date. I don't give a F what the reason is. If you cancel the first date, unless like someone died in your family, don't cancel the first date. If he cancels the first date, trust me, he doesn't care enough to see you. If he's late, if you can't even be on time to a first date, why are you gonna put in more effort on the second, third, fourth date and your 6th year of marriage? If he wants you to meet halfway or drive to him, this is extremely rude. Don't do it. If a man likes you enough, he will not ask you to drive to him. Ladies, you have to remember this. You want to be the giver, and that is wonderful. But especially in the beginning, you have to pull back on some of that giving, because if you give too much, you are not able to see how invested a man is in you. I met a man once who told me the dating behavior of men on apps. Men literally close their eyes, open the app, and swipe right on everything. And they are gonna take whatever bait they can get because largely they don't care. That's just what men do. But if you are the right one, if he's attracted enough to you, if he's excited about you, if he feels like you guys are a good match and you have things in common, he is going to invest, and that means driving to you. So ladies, on a first date, especially if a man says, hey, do you want to meet halfway or do you want to come out toward me? You can simply say something polite like, that's a little bit far for me. And that should be cue enough. If he's a good guy and a guy that you deserve to have in your life, he will fix that and be like, no problem, what area are you in? Number 4, maybe you have friends who are in bad relationships. And if your friends are in bad relationships, you are gonna identify with your friends because they're your friends, and you are gonna think that you deserve something similar. So do yourself a favor. If you have friends who are in bad, negative relationships, you need to look in the description. I have listed some books that are gonna help you recalibrate your what is acceptable meter when dating men, and read that, and that is really going to help you to learn what you deserve and help you get out of your mind those negative relationships that you've used to create as your baseline for what is acceptable when dating. You accept bad behavior possibly because you're meeting men at clubs or at bars. Now, I love a good club, I love a good pool party, and I certainly love happy hour, but I have learned over the years of trying to meet men at bars that it does not work out well. Trust me, Even the nicest bars, even the bar at the Ritz, we used to have a bar that I would go to in Dallas. It was called the Rattlesnake Bar, and it was in the Ritz. And I used to describe that bar as a very advanced bar for more than one reason. But usually there were tons of married men that would go there, take their rings off, put them in their pocket, and try and meet women, say that they were maybe on business trips. And granted, they would treat them pretty well. But if you want a long-term relationship, you don't want to be dating a man that is married. So take the advice from me. Stop trying to meet men at clubs. Stop trying to meet men at bars. Just go to bars and clubs with your girlfriends and have a good time, and get on the dating apps or get into a club or go to pickleball and try and meet men there. The third pillar that we're going to talk about as to why you are not in the relationship you want to be in is because you have no set life vision. If you don't have a set life vision, you don't know the path that you want your life to go on. I personally know exactly how I want my life to go. I have a vision for exactly how I see my life with my partner. I know that I want to be going on vacations. I know that I want to be working on my side business. I know that I don't want to have to worry about finances. I know that I want to be cooking and making a wonderful home. And I know that I want to be planning parties for my family. And I know that I want to be a loving wife in the feminine role. Now, if I want my life vision to come true, I know what kind of men to date and what kind of men not to date. For instance, I am not going to be dating a pilot because a pilot is never home. Largely, he is always away and he is always traveling. If you have a life vision and you know how you want your life to go, you are going to be able to more easily discern on the men you are dating whether or not they are going to help you get where you want to go. Is this man going to be around for your kids' birthday parties, or is he going to be traveling because he is a traveling salesman? Does he not like to do anything outdoors? And you envision your whole life like living on this gorgeous farm, cultivating crops and going camping and mountain biking and doing outdoorsy things. So if you don't know how you want your life to go, there's no way you are going to find that relationship that is meant for you. And if you're saying, Margaret, I don't know how I envision my life. That's just so, I'm still trying to figure out today. That's okay. A good first step to take is to think about things that you like to do. What are your hobbies? So if you really like to cook, maybe do some cooking classes. You really like the outdoors, join a whitewater rafting club. That actually sounds really exciting. You like to get active but don't want to go to the gym, maybe join a pickleball league. And it's through following what you love is the way you're gonna find more things that are meant to be in your life. You will find and manifest your dreams by following your bliss. I don't know where that quote came from, but I always play it in my head. I say, follow your bliss. Whenever I'm trying to figure out what to do or a next step to take in my life, I always say, follow your bliss and your dreams will come true. It is so true, because think about it. If you love the outdoors and you're in a whitewater rafting club, you're gonna meet a man likely who also loves the outdoors. That's why he's doing the whitewater rafting. So think about things like that when you are trying to build that vision for your life. Pillar number 4 is a bit more serious, and don't write this one off because it's not the same as sex addiction. Love addiction is a little bit different, and it's a little bit more in the codependency realm. Now, love addiction is related to codependency because it basically means that you need someone around. You are addicted to the idea of being in love. You're addicted to being in a relationship. There are people who can never be outside of a relationship. That doesn't necessarily mean that they're love addicted. Love addicted is a little bit more serious. You basically can't leave a relationship. We even see love addiction when we see women or men dating narcissists, or women or men in abusive relationships, abusive emotional relationships, or abusive physical relationships. That love addiction messes with your head and people just can't leave. We all have that friend who we know that she's been treated like crap forever from her boyfriend, but she can't leave. Likely this is love addiction. And if this is you, you need to listen up, because I'm going to give you some insights on how to get out of it and insights on what exactly is causing it. In love addiction, there are a lot of subconscious things, unconscious things. That means things that we're not aware of that are going on in our mind that are keeping us stuck in that bad relationship. One of the things could be that deep down, you really don't feel good enough. And this could be coming from childhood. And if you don't feel good enough, you likely keep people around that treat you badly in hopes that eventually they're going to treat you well. And if they do treat you well, this ultimately proves that you are good enough because you were able to turn someone around from treating you bad to now treating you good, and therefore it's proven you worthy. Love addiction can also stem from a certain type of childhood where your love needs just weren't met, or also being in a household growing up where things were really high stress. If you're in a household where things are really high stress growing up, you basically are addicted to the stress hormone, the stress chemical in your brain, and when things are really calm, it just feels off. It just doesn't feel right. So if you grew up in a high stress household, you are going to gravitate to and feel more at home and normal in high stress relationships. One good way to break this cycle, when you're at home alone one night or one morning, whatever, if you're a morning person or you're a nighttime person, go ahead and sit in your house and sit in your most favorite place. I know I have 2 cats, and my most favorite thing to do when I was breaking my own love addiction patterns was to sit on my couch, look out my window, have my 2 orange long-haired tabbies by my side, have an iced tea, and just sit in silence and really make myself recognize what I was experiencing in that peaceful moment. Recognizing that. No music, no talking, no TV, no radio, just being. This will help you reprogram your nervous system into being comfortable and eventually happy and thriving in peace. But it does take some time. And eventually, you will be able to just sit there and be at peace. For instance, on a Friday night, I never used to be able to be alone in my house. It used to be the worst feeling. I used to have FOMO. I used to feel like I needed to be out. I couldn't be alone. It determined my worth if I wasn't doing something at the end of the week on a Friday night and I was alone. And now, while I love a good party and a great restaurant, I can just reflect on what it had been like to be in turmoil, in chaos in my past, and be so deeply grateful for the peace and serenity and quiet that God and me have blessed me with being able to cultivate in my life. So that's a really good practice. It's a really important practice, and it can totally change your nervous system. All right, we have come to the conclusion of this video, and I want to wrap it up by giving you next step tips. I am always going to give you next step tangible tips to move forward and how to apply the things that I have talked about in this video so that you can find the dream relationship that you so very much crave. Number 1 is I want you to make a list of the dream qualities of your dream partner. Every single thing. Now, I would say don't lean so much on the physical. Tall, dark, and handsome is fine, but don't get too specific because those things are a little bit more fluid and you never know who you're gonna meet. But you wanna be specific as to, I have a partner who loves to travel with me. I have a partner who loves to cook dinner with me on the weekends and we can do spontaneous adventures together. My partner really sees me for who I am. I feel like a whole person when I get to talk with my partner and share my feelings. I feel like I can laugh with my partner like I can't laugh with anybody else. Make a full and exhaustive list of everything and anything that you want in your dream partner. No limits. Number 2, make a list of the things that you want in your life. I want to travel to Aspen. I want to go to the Miami Food and Wine Festival every year. I want a gorgeous home with a massive front yard and peach trees and lime trees and lemon trees. Yes, I want that. Make a list of all the things you want in your life and all the things you envision. Next, I want you to focus on yourself. Plan that girls trip that you've been putting off. Sign up for that gym membership. Go grocery shopping. Make a budget to get your financial health on track. Go and adopt that pet that you've been wanting to adopt. Join a runner's club. Focus on yourself. Fill your calendar, and not only fill your calendar, commit to what you're filling on your calendar. Trust me, the way we get to build self-esteem is by trusting ourselves. And how do you trust yourself? Trusting yourself comes from making plans in the future and sticking with them. You're honoring the commitment you've made to yourself. That builds trust and in turn builds self-esteem. Next one, nurture those friendships that you've been neglecting. If you don't have the money right now to plan a girls trip or go out, that's fine. Get out the pen and paper, make some greeting cards. Go to Target, they have the cutest cards lately that I've seen, or design your own if you're artsy. go ahead and send out some cards to your friends and show them the love that you have for them. Focus the love inward and focus the love outward on the people that are closest to you in your life, and you will attract love from other places. Next, if you're on the dating apps and you are dating, I need you to commit to and follow these crucial points. Number one, never respond to a message that says, hey, or hi, or WYD, what are you doing? Never respond to a first message that has a one-word message. This man is just fishing. He has no intent in actually treating you well, and he has no investment. He doesn't care enough. If he did, he would form a full sentence. Don't accept dates the day before. This shows that you don't value yourself, but even more importantly, you are not able to gauge if this man cares enough about you or wants to invest in you enough to be able to make a plan more than one day in advance. Likely, he's only making a plan one day in advance because he realized he has nothing better to do tomorrow, so he's trying to get something on the books. Number three, this one is a little bit controversial, but guess what? Men are hunters, so you should not be messaging first. Do not message first because, like I mentioned, men are swiping basically on every single woman that they consider baseline acceptable to their attractiveness. And if you message first, they're just gonna go along with it, and you might as well pay for the date and ask them out. Look, some of you wanna do that, but from my philosophy and my experience, that is not how you are gonna find a masculine man for a relationship that is going to remember the anniversaries, plan the vacations, buy you your favorite flowers on your birthday. You want to be finding a man who can do these basic things in the beginning if you want to have a lovely relationship in the end. And the last important point to remember when you're on dating apps, don't be the one to put the most effort into the conversation. Now, I know that dating apps can be exhausting. You shouldn't be on a dating app texting without meeting for more, in my opinion, than a week and a half max. You guys need to meet. If you don't meet, you're cultivating something that isn't real. You haven't actually met the person in person. You're literally just making up fantasies in your head without even knowing how the person's voice sounds or what they're like in person. It's a mistake to invest more than a week and a half in texting. With that said, you shouldn't be holding the conversation. This man should be making the effort, and he should be asking you the questions. Of course, ask questions back, but you don't want to be the one making long paragraphs where he's making like one sentence answers. Those are the gems of wisdom that are going to help you manifest and attract the dream relationship, your dream man, and stop attracting those toxic men and those toxic liars. Trust me, how I used to be was always dating married men. I'm like, how are all these married men on the apps? Why am I the only one dating these married men? And they'd lie about it. They'd lie about it until I was on like the 5th date, and they'd be like, oh, actually I'm still married. And you know what? If I would have listened to all of these things that I had in the video, I wouldn't even probably have gone on a first date with a lot of these guys, and it would have saved me a lot of headache. So let me know what you think in the comments. First type of video like this for this channel. I'm gonna continue to share recipes, photos of food, fashion tips, fashion videos. But yeah, I'm hoping you really enjoyed this relationship video, and don't forget to subscribe. Give me the thumbs up and I'll make you guys more videos. Have a great week. Bye-bye.